February CPI, or the inflation number, came in cooler than expected at 2.8% year over year, down from 3% in January. The market opened better today, but then Canada fired back at Trump's steel and aluminum tariffs and put 25% retaliatory tariffs on about $30 billion worth of U.S. goods. That rattled things a bit so far in Trump's first 51 days. The big fear was that tariffs would drive inflation higher. Still early, but so far so good. Let's welcome David Stryzewski, CEO of Sound Planning Group. David, good to see you. Glad to have you back. Let's start with inflation. It eased compared to last month and compared to a year ago. Why? What's your read on this?
Well, this is really, President Trump's first full, read that we're getting in office, which actually breaks a 4-month trend of it rising, and now it's coming down. So, I think that we get a little bit of a mixed report here. I think a lot of the reason why we're seeing the prices down so much is because energy costs are down, and so that is one thing that President Trump has delivered on. Is we're actually seeing very, very low energy prices, and I think that they're heading still in the right direction beyond that. If we're looking at the price of like eggs, up 59% in the last 12 months, I don't think a lot of people feel great about that. I personally just got my property taxes 25% increase, along with 25% increases for the insurance for my house too. So my personal CPI is pretty high relative to different things. So I think that, seeing numbers in the threes gives people a little bit more confidence that maybe we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah. Sorry about the increased prices for you. I mean, it hurts. It hurts everyone. All right, even with inflation easing today, tariffs could still lead to temporary price hikes, at least. So if that happens, can policies like tax cuts, deregulation, energy dominance offset those costs while the president's long-term plan for prosperity and national security plays out?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, so I'm calling it tarifflation fears. When we look at the cost of goods and supply chains, we've not really seen any of these unfold, and I haven't personally seen them as an American citizen where I've been restricted from something or not been able to really get anything. So who knows what the next 12 to 24 months ultimately do? But yeah, these are short-term impacts that have longer-term benefits, and so I think that President Trump is even open to the idea of the market having its hiccup right now and even a crash right now earlier in his time frame, if it's something that has to be done and it would cool off inflation even a little bit more, maybe even bringing down prices for average Americans who would want to buy back in. But this is a very, very interesting time frame because there's not exactly one answer, and the Fed cannot control the price of my auto insurance and the price of eggs here at home. Crash,
David? You said crash? Really?
Here, let me explain. So, there's a lot of shorts going into the market right now, and really sentiment has adjusted. Like last year and the year prior, we were looking at any type of report that would come out, and it would be positive, negative, neutral, and it would be buy stocks, the market's going up. Right now, sentiment is that, hey, we're getting a little bit fearful because the news headlines do a really great job of telling everyone it's going to be more expensive, although the numbers today say it's really not that expensive or more expensive, at least according to headline. But the point is that when we find ourselves in a moment where we have $9.2 trillion in treasuries that are coming due, and Treasury costs the United States more than defense spending, I think Trump is looking at this and saying, hey, that's due this year. If what we do is the market crash, everyone runs to bonds, specifically long-dated bonds, what happens is it drives the yield price down. That's a bull market for bonds for a moment, but you lock everyone in at a much lower rate as all that matures and it goes to those specific assets. What that would then do is give the Federal Reserve the ability to say, hey, rates are much lower out there on bonds, and so maybe we can drop, rates as well. And maybe that gets consumers, a better mortgage rate, better loans, et cetera. And I think that that's a play that could be playing out right now.
All right, since we're talking about possible reset, what about the R word, recession?
Yeah, well, difficult to define what that even means. I think that we had a recession, according to my definition, back in March of 2022. Q1, Q2 negative, 2 quarters consecutively. Right now, the NBER has not called an official recession. I think that if we look back at the numbers and we actually identify, hey, is CPI really CPI? It doesn't really, have anything to do with what I spent my money on or you spent your money on. Any American did, but specifically a basket of expenses that they chose. The unemployment data has been, less than accurate, with 818,000 overstated in the previous year, and we're about to get a new update on that. I bet it's 500,000, 600,000 at least. And so when we see these numbers begin to deteriorate, GDP to begin to deteriorate right now, I mean, just in the last 4 weeks, it's moved so significantly. This is Richter scale movement. So as the world's kind of doing this, I think that we're going to see more volatility. But I think to your point earlier, we're on the right track. We're unlocking the golden age here. And the United States is positioned very well for the future as long as we don't make too many people mad on some of the tariff conversations on the front end.
Yeah, the market doesn't like uncertainty, but hey, short-term pain, long-term gain, at least that's the goal. We'll see how it plays out. David Stryzewski, CEO of Sound Planning Group. Thank you for your time today. Good to see you, my friend.
All right, appreciate you. Thank you.